The strength to let go, giving up as a form of wisdom. Giving up doesn't always mean you're weak. Sometimes it means you are strong enough and smart enough to let go and move on. This teaching confronts one of the most misunderstood ideas in human life, that strength is always found in holding on. From a spiritual perspective, this belief is incomplete. Strength is not measured by how long we endure, but by how honestly we listen to life. There comes a moment on every sincere spiritual path when effort becomes resistance. What once required commitment now demands self-betrayal. What once felt purposeful begins to feel heavy. At this crossroads, the soul whispers a quiet truth. It is time to release. To heed this whisper is not weakness. It is spiritual maturity. The ego's fear of letting go. The ego survives through attachment. It clings to identities, roles, relationships, and narratives because they provide a sense of continuity and control. The ego fears endings because it mistakes them for annihilation. When something falls away, the ego panics, asking, "Who will I be without this?" As a result, many people continue long past alignment. They persist not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of regret, fear of starting over. The ego tells them that quitting means failure, that walking away means they lack discipline or faith. Spirit tells a different story. Spirit understands that nothing alive remains fixed. Growth demands movement, and movement requires release. When something no longer supports expansion, holding on is not loyalty. It is stagnation. The spiritual difference between perseverance and attachment: perseverance is sacred when it flows from alignment. Attachment is exhausting because it flows from fear. Spiritual discernment is learning to feel the difference. Perseverance has energy. Even when it is challenging, there is a sense of meaning, vitality, and inner yes. Attachment feels heavy. It drains. It requires constant justification and self-convincing. When a path demands that you silence your intuition, numb your feelings, or shrink your truth in order to stay, spirit is already signaling completion. Letting go at this moment is not giving up on life. It is giving up the illusion that forcing equals faith. Completion is not failure. In spiritual reality, nothing ends prematurely. When something completes, it means it has fulfilled its role in your evolution. A relationship that taught you love has completed its lesson when love can no longer grow within its form. A dream that once inspired you has completed its task when it no longer reflects who you are becoming. A struggle that strengthened you has completed its work when continuing, it only hardens you. To recognize completion requires humility. It means releasing the need to prove something, especially to yourself. Spirit does not ask you to suffer indefinitely to earn worth. It asks you to listen. The inner strength required to walk away letting go is rarely dramatic. More often it is quiet, trembling, and uncertain. It means stepping into the unknown without a replacement plan. It means choosing inner peace over external validation. This is why letting go is a form of strength few recognize. It takes strength to stop fighting. It takes strength to disappoint expectations. It takes strength to say, "This chapter is over," even when the next one has not yet revealed itself. The spiritually mature do not wait for permission to honor their truth. They understand that alignment is the permission. Surrender as a spiritual practice. In spiritual language, letting go is often called surrender. Surrender is not passivity. It is cooperation with life's intelligence. When you surrender, you stop arguing with reality. You stop insisting that something must work simply because you invested in it. You stop demanding that life conform to your timeline or preferences. Instead, you soften, you release, you trust. Surrender does not remove pain, but it removes unnecessary suffering. The suffering that comes from resisting what is already complete. When letting go restores power, one of the great spiritual paradoxes is that power returns the moment we stop clinging. Energy bound in resentment, effort, and fear becomes available again. Clarity returns. Intuition sharpens. Creativity awakens. What once felt like loss begins to feel like relief. This is why so many people report feeling lighter after walking away from something they once fought to keep. Spiritually, they are reclaiming their life force. Letting go is not losing power. It is withdrawing it from what no longer deserves it. Moving on without hardness. Spiritual moving on is not escape, bitterness, or denial. It is clean. It is conscious. It honors what was without dragging it forward. You do not need to reject the past to release it. Gratitude and letting go can coexist. You can bow to what taught you and still walk away. This is how wisdom moves without hostility, without blame. Trusting the space after release. After letting go, there is often emptiness. The ego rushes to fill it. Spirit invites you to stay. This space is not punishment, it is preparation. It allows your nervous system to reset, your identity to soften, and your intuition to recalibrate. What comes next often requires a version of you that could not exist while you were still holding on. Better things do not rush in. They assemble quietly, in alignment with who you have become. Conclusion: the courage to choose truth over endurance. Giving up, spiritually understood, is not abandonment. It is alignment. It is the willingness to choose truth over attachment, clarity over pride, peace over persistence for its own sake. Strength is not measured by how much you can tolerate. It is measured by how deeply you can listen. When you let go consciously, you are not turning away from life. You are turning toward it. And in that turning, what once looked like weakness reveals itself as wisdom.